Now, my next guest has been making predictions about the U.S. president for decades, using his keys to the White House method. Since 1984, he has correctly forecast almost every single election except for one. We want to bring in presidential historian Allan Lichtman now. Allan, good morning to you. Great to see you.
Always good to see you, Marcia.
Okay, so you say, forget the polls, the debate, crowd size. You've made your prediction as to who will win the White House. So tell us who, how, and why.
Yes, the big headline is America will have a new path-breaking president. Kamala Harris, according to my prediction, will become the first woman president of the United States, at least putting a big crack, if not entirely shattering the glass ceiling. She will also become the first president of mixed African and East Asian descent, kind of foreshadowing an America that is rapidly becoming a majority minority. Now, this is based on the 13 keys to the White House, which ignores the pundits who have no scientific basis for their opinion, doesn't look at polls, which are snapshots, but abused by compilers like Nate Silver as if they were predictors. The 13 keys tap in of how American presidential elections really work as votes up or down on the strength and performance of the White House party. And the way it works, if 6 or more of the keys turn against the White House party, they are predicted losers. Fewer than 6 negative keys, they are predictive winners. And I've been doing this since I predicted Ronald Reagan's reelection in April 1982, during what was then the worst recession since the Great Depression, when his approval ratings were down in the dumps. And of course, in 2016, I defied the pundits, the pollsters, and most other modelers by calling the winner as Donald Trump, which did not make me very popular in 90% plus Democratic Washington, D.C., where I teach at American University. But I did get a letter of congratulations from none other than Donald Trump himself.
I hope you saved that. So, given all of that, Allan, and all of the attention and pressure on these two candidates tonight, does this debate matter? What are you watching for? I mean, you have been wrong once before. Could this throw off your prediction? Could this be the variable that impacts your prediction?
The answer is no, and I would dispute that I was ever wrong. You're talking about 2000 when I called it for Gore. And I proved in my report to the United States Commission on Civil Rights, still up on their website, that Florida messed up that election, that based on the intent of the voters, that Al Gore should have won that election in Florida going away and the presidency, and that was independently verified in a later study by Professor Walter Mebane of Cornell University. His article in a referee journal was entitled "The Wrong Man is President!" exclamation point. He backed up my findings showing that Al Gore should have won by tens of thousands of votes. But I'm not here to relitigate 2000.
Okay, I stand corrected. So tell us then about the debate.
Yes. Debates do not predict election results any more than any event of the campaign, the ads, the fundraising, the speeches, the dirty tricks. Hillary Clinton won all the debates and still lost in 2016. John Kerry won the debates against a very bad debater, George W. Bush, but still lost the election. Doesn't mean you shouldn't watch the debates, but don't watch the debates presuming it's going to predict the election. I deliberately issued my prediction before the debate to show that it's not dependent on campaign events. But certainly watch the debates. They're interesting. They can give you insight into the candidates. They can be informative, although they've kind of devolved in recent years since the great Kennedy-Nixon debates of 1960. But don't get fooled by the pundits and the pollsters who would tell you this is going to determine the outcome. I've already predicted the outcome because my message, and it's a positive one, is that it's governance, not campaigning, that counts.
Allan Lichtman is a presidential historian. And if you read the New York Times, you also know he's a marathon runner. And we'll leave it there for today. I thoroughly enjoyed that piece on you, Allan. Good to see you this morning. Allan Lichtman,
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
You want to follow my further analysis? Check out my live show with my son every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern at Allan Lichtman YouTube. We have a lot of fun with it.
I bet you do. All right, Allan, you take care.